I got that from my parents, and I also got my sense of humor from my mother, and I got my negotiating skills from having 4 brothers.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I'm not a quitter.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, Betty. I'm so excited to have you here. So my guest today is Betty Most with the Betty Most Agency out of Edina Realty in River Falls, Wisconsin. River Falls, I feel like legend at this point in time in real estate and in business and in life. So I'm so excited to have you here. So you're a River Falls native.
I
right?
am. And thank you, Andy, for having me here. Clearly, it took a little while. And as an extroverted extrovert, you probably find that hard to believe. But I'm happy to be here and grateful that you asked me. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to have our guests meet you. This goes out to a big array of people, and they get to see your fun personality and everything you bring to the real estate game. How long have you been a realtor?
I have been licensed for 41 years.
41 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
Probably older than Alex is here.
Yeah. So, and you're born and raised River Falls, right?
I grew up in a dairy farm south of River Falls, about 4 miles. So it was right on the school border edge. I went to school in Prescott, but River Falls has always been my town. So I moved to River Falls in 1982. So I'm a veteran, I'm sure.
82. So that was before real estate. Then.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What were you doing then?
My career before that, I was a nurse for 10 years.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So 10 years of nursing.
Mm-hmm.
And then how did real estate come about?
Well, when you talk about a pivot, that is the perfect example. I worked at a clinic. I first started at a hospital. I worked a couple years, med-surg and labor and delivery. And then I went to work at a clinic, and I worked for a doctor there, and he had a couple weeks off. And at that time, Herb Cudd asked me, and he with the Charles Cudd Company, if I was interested in hostessing their spring preview home. And I'm like, well, sure, I'd love to do that. So 2 weeks later, he said to me, he goes, well, how do you like it? And I said, I loved it. And he said, did you ever think about getting into real estate? And I'm like, never in a million. You know, I'm not real fond of salespeople. You've probably heard that before. And then I thought about it. And at that point, I thought, well, could I do it part-time? Sure, I could. Well, I did it 3 months part-time, and if you're going to establish yourself, you cannot do it part-time. You need to be there. You need to be present. You need to be there when the clients need you. So I took a leave of absence, and I never went back.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
She's jumped in head first.
Head first.
Were you a young mom at this time?
Yes, I was. And that was part of it, too. I was a single parent. At that point, I just wanted to make things better for us.
How long has Randy been by your side, your partner?
My partner and I, my partner in life and partner in business, we have been married. It will be 30, we always do this, right? 37 years in September.
Cool. But he wasn't always a realtor, though.
No. His first career, he was a musician.
G.B. Layton, right?
G.B. Layton.
The world-famous G.B. Layton.
Well, there you have it.
People, not everybody knows that. Like,
No.
when I heard that, I was like, I'm like, over here fanning, like not even realizing that.
He was the drummer for the band,
Yeah.
the percussionist, and he was the worker bee.
Okay.
You know, keeping the beat, right?
Yeah.
So he keeps the beat in real estate, too.
Love it.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So he's been by, how long has he been by your side as a realtor?
He started full-time with me in 2012.
Okay.
So.
Cool. So he's a vet now, too.
Yes, he is.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would not be able to do the volume that I do without him. He's really invaluable to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a fun human being, too.
So what does he do? He does everything I don't want to do.
Yeah.
And more.
Yeah, and more. And he's a
great.
realtor, so he can support you, right? For
Absolutely.
Additional showing for a buyer.
Contracts.
Right, contracts,
everything.
all of that.
He's great.
Yeah, that is so awesome. So, were you a troublemaker or a rule follower?
Well, do you even know me? No, I'm just kidding. I would say probably a mixture.
Yeah?
Of course, now we would say good trouble.
Yeah.
But I mean, rule follower in real estate. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
you better follow the rules. So I do that. But, you like to think outside the box and, hopefully you don't get into too much trouble.
Yeah, totally. So you transitioned to nursing, got into real estate, totally different time back then than now. How did you drum up business back in the 80s?
I had great mentors. My first one was Dean Sukawati at Coldwell Banker in River Falls, and he worked with Daleen Crandall. Daleen was a broker back then, and I'm a broker, and he was instrumental in helping me learn contracts between him and Daleen. It was wonderful. Then we both left and went with Ken Lee Agency, and Ken was another, wonderful, wonderful mentor. So learned a lot.
Is that pre-Edina Realty?
Yes.
So it was Ken Lee Agency, and then eventually you guys joined Edina?
Yeah, so I joined his group in 1988, and then we joined in with Edina in 1991.
Okay, so it's been a few years, 34 years at
Yeah.
Edina Realty then, so you must be near the top of the seniority list.
Well, probably.
Yeah,
but
there as well.
It's a fabulous company. I couldn't be more pleased to work with them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Edina Realty. I've personally
Yeah.
bought and sold houses
Yeah.
with Edina Realty. So, yeah, especially in our market. They're backed by Berkshire Hathaway now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you got the powerhouse of
Yeah.
all of that for technology
Yeah.
behind it as well.
I think some people just think it's local Edina Realty, but it's nationwide.
Yeah, it's a sub-brand at this
Yeah.
point, right?
Yes.
But you get to be able to tap into the resources
Yes.
of what it is. But the people are working with you, right? Like they're working with Betty, and they keep working with Betty, which is what I love. Because
I hope so.
yeah, what's amazing to me is like working alongside of you and helping you over all the years is you keep killing it every year. Like you just don't stop. Like I have to ask, what is this internal drive for you? Like what is it that just makes you want to keep kicking butt? Like even 40 years later.
Well, I really go way back to my upbringing. Growing up on a farm, strong work ethic, and you remember the saying, you make hay when the sun shines. So the sun shines pretty much all the time in real estate.
Yeah.
It really does. So that's my work ethic. Sometimes it's hard for me to say no, which is just fine. But I got that from my parents, and I also got my sense of humor from my mother, and I got my negotiating skills from having 4 brothers.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I'm not a quitter.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. So, yeah, it's just really impressive to me that you can still be, on top of your game, like where others would say, I want to slow down. I don't ever get that feeling from you. You want to keep, like...
Well,
yeah.
I'm still having fun.
Okay.
Randy and I still have fun, so why would we stop?
Yeah.
And the other beautiful thing that I'm grateful for is a lot of people, our paths would never have crossed had I not been working with them real estate-wise, really, when you think about it. So that's great.
Yeah, you're definitely a relational salesperson, is what I see out of you. Relationships are really, really important to you.
1,000%.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just comes natural to you, right? Like that's not you turning it on. I feel like that just seems like something ingrained in you.
Well, that extroverted extrovert, I do care about people very much, and the relationship and friendships that develop.
Yeah, I see that even just in the way our relationship has been and things that you've shown up for. Everything from funerals to many different things, and I appreciate that.
Well,
shows that you care.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I noticed that. 2025 in real estate, it seems like the market's starting to change in some ways. It's not monumental. We're not talking about a crash or anything like that, but it seems like you got to set up some seller expectations a little bit differently right now.
That is true.
Yeah, what are you seeing for how do you set these people up differently today? Sellers, some of them think it's 2021, and it's not anymore.
Well, and I think part of that, people look at national trends versus local trends. And really what I tell people, trust me, the real estate market's not broken. It's changed from, the COVID years, but in many ways it's better.
Yeah.
We think multiple offers and all those types of things are really fun, but they get stressful. And you always want to bet on the right pony. So it's still very good. And as a lender that the loans that you have done in the last, 10 years, 12 years, are solid.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the people that, with nice equity in their home, they're not going to have to short sell their property or that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel always good about our market the way it is. Interest rates a little higher, of course they are, But when you think about it, when I started in the business, it was 18%. So anything under 10% to me is pretty darn good.
Yeah. I love the longevity of you being able to look back and remember what it was like in the 80s, where this is, maybe in some ways similar, some ways different, mm-hmm. of affordability issues for people probably back then. You had to be creative as well, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, on how to look at negotiating.
For sure.
You're an excellent negotiator. I really feel that for you, that you...
Thank you.
You have a hell of a poker face on being able to negotiate. Is that is that a learned skill that you've had over time? Have you had great people that help you with that?
I think it's something that as you progress in experience, you watch how other agents are, you watch how, sellers and buyers are. And I think really at the end of the day, we all advocate for our clients, but let's make it a win-win. It doesn't have to be killer, that one side takes all. You want it to be fair and ethical, and you want both parties happy, because at the end of the day, we have a seller that wants to sell and a buyer that wants to buy. Let's make it fair and
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah, I agree. If we can find a way to make everybody happy, sellers are getting great prices on houses right now.
Exactly.
It's pretty undeniable at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of our buyers really, they got a real need for why they're moving in today's market, right? There's a real need, whether it's, expanding family or, job change or whatever it would be. We're in a need to move market. Or COVID was I'm moving just because.
Well, but then, too, space needs really changed back then. I got to work at home. I've got to help my kids homeschool, that type of thing. So we did have that. But really right now, we go back to the same thing. People still get married. They still have babies. They still transfer. And people get divorced. So people are always on the move. Sometimes it's just less than others. And that's, some of the time that we're in right now, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think we're pretty normal. I feel like it's normal and
Mm-hmm.
stable. Here, Twin Cities, Western Wisconsin, it feels normal, stable, and healthy.
I agree.
Yeah, we're here on a national level. We're here where
Yeah.
parts of Tampa, Florida or something. It's
Yeah.
well, it doubled in 2 years,
Right.
right? Of course it's going to come down,
Mm-hmm.
right? We didn't experience that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some great appreciation some years, but it's kind of been slow and steady, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was about 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, 3-4% appreciation. If you own a $400,000 house, 4% appreciation, $16,000.
What's not to like about that?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now compounded again and
Yeah.
again and
Yeah.
again. It's beautiful. I just did a little calculator for a client where it's hey, if your house appreciates at 3%, at $300,000 in 5 years, a $300,000 house is worth $350,000. That's amazing.
Well, and the other thing that you look at, too, if people have to sell, it used to be, you got to be in your home 5 to 7 years, to maybe make a little money, break even. So if you have that type of appreciation and there is a must sell, they're in a better position.
Absolutely. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
sellers we're working with,
Yes.
they all got equity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely is it unless they just bought.
Right.
You know, is it a situation where
Right.
they don't have a healthy amount of equity? So that's always nice and exciting.
And I'm grateful that the clients have that, my seller clients.
Betty, what do you think you're really good at in real estate?
Having fun.
Having fun?
I think that it's my goal, again, to develop the relationship, but it's also my goal to do my best for them. Everybody starts out thinking it's really fun and exciting, and it is, but it also gets very stressful. So it's my job to calm their fears, and take a step back if we need to, take a deep breath, because it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we might as well have some fun, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we just had a mutual transaction that got a little hairy in the end with a new roof that needed to be put on days before closing, right? And then that takes that fear level from here to here, right? Like, am I going to be able to buy this house? Is this deal going to fall apart entirely? And to have that happen days before closing, it gets stressful for everybody.
Well, for sure, it does. Yeah. And it was days before closing, and we did close on time.
We did. It came up 3 days before closing, and we got it all wrapped up, and we got it all fixed in time, but it took a team effort.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
To be able to do that. But that's common. I think that's where, you got the experienced lender, because it took the lender and the realtor and the contractor.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Like every title. Took title too for
yes,
this scenario for everybody to work together, and everybody was super experienced.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I think that if it would have been another crew of less experienced, it would have just got delayed easily a couple of weeks.
That is the value of people with longevity. We know how to do that. We know how to get it done. So there's some values that, you can't put on paper, but it's there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a seasoned wisdom of being able to have some foresight of saying, if this is going to happen, then this is going to happen. But what you didn't think about is that means then that's going to happen.
Right.
And so don't even start that domino effect.
Right.
You need to take a right here so you don't have that series of events that makes it go bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it takes a long time. I talked to my mentor, my mortgage mentor last night. He said, how long do you feel like it takes for a mortgage person to be good? And I was like, maybe 5 years. He's like, I think it takes at least 7 years of them being in the industry before they can blow up and even be good, because they just don't know enough about the industry yet. So 7 years is a long time.
Well, it is, Andy. I mean, it is. I remember when I left nursing, it took me 5 years to stop thinking, well, I could always go back. So, that's true.
Yeah, I felt like I became a pro after about 10 years, where I'm like, all right, and then now for you 4x that, right? Yeah. What are other fun things that you've seen that have changed? Like, what's different now versus if we go a few decades ago?
I look at the way we market listings, for example, right? I think it's a lot more professional. I always get professional photos. I present my listings a certain way. I tell my sellers this is when the inner control freak comes out in me, because I want it to happen just right. So, and of course your marketing avenues, social media and stuff, are really fun. They're fun. So paper advertising, does anybody do that anymore?
I'm old enough in the industry that 20 years ago, that was a primary.
That was
in the newspaper and those little books.
Yep.
Remember the books?
Yes.
People now are like, what are you even talking about?
Right.
It'd be like every month.
Yeah.
I feel like Edina might have had their own book, and then there was all these different ones.
It's true. It's true.
That's a huge thing that probably went away, 10, 12 years ago? No books.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's better, I think.
Yeah, you can get more eyeballs on it.
Yep.
That's for sure.
And more fun, too.
And I think that what I see in the last even decade difference is, if, like you're saying, if you don't stage the house correctly and have really great pictures.
Exactly.
Like, I heard a stat yesterday. It was like in the 90+ percentile of all people start their home search on Zillow.
Oh.
whether you like it or not. You know, like they're on there and they're looking. They might go to you as the pro, but that means they're starting online, like, and they're pre-reviewing before they even talk to you about buying.
I totally get that. And I tell people Zillow has a lot of good information. It really does. Just don't go with the Zestimate.
Yeah, right. And there's misinformation because
Yes.
Zillow is a marketing website.
Well, they're an advertising site that puts real estate on it. You know, we have rules.
Yeah, yeah. So people got to be careful on Zillow because they miss that it can be actively contingent or pending. Sometimes it doesn't update.
Right.
It just says for sale.
Right.
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 Whereas if you put them on the MLS or your app, right, then they can have like the actual accurate information.
I always ask my buyers that I'm working with, if you see something on Zillow, text me the address. I'll check and make sure.
Yeah.
So if it's there, it's there.
Yeah. And sorry, other companies, I believe Edina Realty has the easiest website to search for real estate. I work with a lot of realtors. Everybody's going to be like, Andy, why'd you say that? Like, I just have found that to be the easiest site to search through and to use.
It's amazing. I'll never forget when they really started the online stuff. Edina Realty was like a big leader early on. So I totally agree with that. So.
Yeah, so they just figured that out. They've done that right. Yeah. So what's going on with you now? Like outside of real estate, what kind of fun are you having?
One of my latest, well, I shouldn't say latest, but one of my therapies is photography. So I like to photograph nature, more in particular birds, owls, that type of thing, fox. So I kind of got inspiration from several people. And the first one is your brother, Paul Burton, who is like an amazing photographer.
Yes.
And then my other
You
friend.
should be a pro, Paul.
You should
literally
be, Paul.
You should be a professional photographer. He might as well be called
But
one
he's
now.
really a chef, so we don't want that to be gone.
Yeah, he's amazing. Though.
Yeah,
So,
he sure is.
Yeah.
And then Tammy Wolf, and she's another amazing photographer. So those are the people I want to be when I grow up. So I've had some really great adventures and that type of thing.
You even travel for that, don't you? Like, yeah. So you'll
Yeah,
go to different
yeah,
places
yeah.
and make like a weekend of it.
Yes.
Didn't you tell me you went to like some giant bog or something?
Well,
Yeah.
Saxon Bog is a really great area north of Cloquet in Minnesota, and they have owls that come down from the north and winter there, but then they have some resident great gray owls as well. But this past year in Two Harbors, they had a great gray owl and boreal eruption. So that was like
An
incredible.
eruption? What-
Eruption,
Eruption.
which means they come down in mass numbers.
Really? Like what is mass? Like hundreds, thousands?
Oh, I don't even know, but I do know one day we saw 17 great gray owls.
And they're really hard to find otherwise, right?
Yeah, and they were right alongside the road hunting. It was incredible. And boreal owls, too. It was just really an amazing experience.
Owls are one of those things that you see it from afar. And it's
Right.
like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then when you zoom up on a picture, it's
crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
So interesting looking.
Yeah, they're very, very
and they're
cool.
like majestic almost.
They are. They
Yeah.
are. They are. And the other thing that's been fun for me is that I've done a series of photograph cards that the free clinic sells. So it's a fundraiser for them.
So you take your photography,
Yes.
the owls or animals or birds, and you put it on like a note card.
On a 5x7 or 3x5 card or whatever. And then on the back, it says these proceeds benefit the free clinic of Pierce and St. Croix County, which is another fun backstory because when I was a nurse in the 70s and early 80s, I worked for Dr. Bob Johnson. And that was a pretty incredible experience. And he and his wife, Mary, 18 years ago, started the free clinic of Pierce and St. Croix County, which is incredible. People go there free. So they serve the working poor because if you have health insurance, you can't go there. If you're on Medicaid, you can't go there. So it's the working poor. But the great thing about it that I love is that I worked with Bob Johnson in the early part of our careers. And now my daughter is a nurse at the free clinic. And she has, been at the back end of his career. So only in a small town, I think, would that happen, right?
That's cool. That's one thing I love about River Falls.
Yeah.
So River Falls has kept that small town feel, right? Like when you go downtown, there's some commercialization about it, but in general, like it just still feels like a small, tight-knit community, which a lot of communities have lost that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, which is cool. I'm glad that she's carrying on that legacy,
Yeah.
right, with you guys. That's really cool.
And I volunteer there a couple nights a week.
You do?
A couple nights a month, yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I started out working in the pharmacy department, getting the prescriptions filled for the patients there. And I had the pleasure of working with Leah Gavin, who passed away very unexpectedly several months ago. So that was great that I had that opportunity. And now I'm helping in registration. So it's really great to see my daughter in work mode.
I love it.
Because they love her.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
That's good. I'm sure she brings some similar spirit as you do. So we have a ton of realtors that listen to this podcast, and it's been tough. Like this market, this shift.
Yeah.
We went from high highs.
Yeah.
There's been some low lows, right?
Yeah.
Like back to kind of a normalization in the last
Right.
5 years.
Right.
So this is a harder time that has happened in real estate. Like, what advice do you give, like, with your time of these younger realtors that are building their career? What advice would you share with them right now?
Well, I can't imagine starting my real estate career in a hot market, because then it's like, whoa, what happened here? So I've been through a few recessions. It's not the end of the world. There's still opportunities because people still move. Stay the course, do the work, be present, just stay in front of people as much as you can and be good. Do good and be good. What I really want at the end of my career is for other agents to say, you know what, she was really great to work with. And I really enjoyed it because I love my buyer's agents. They're selling my listings. They're helping my sellers. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, I think that's a mantra that kind of got lost a little bit during the COVID years because it was kind of dog eat dog,
Yeah.
and it could be some killer mindset. But now that we're normal, agents got to play well together.
In the
right?
playground, yes, they do.
Right, like you got to play well together because it's going to make your client's transaction go better if you can get along and communicate and return phone calls, right? Like,
Right.
or even a text message, right?
And not verbal text.
Yeah. So, inside joke. So,
Yeah.
there on that. Well, Betty, I've really appreciated your time here today. Like, I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate all the people that you've helped that I've referred your way to. And you've always been exactly who you say you are, which is a missing thing, I think, in today's world. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you,
here.
too. I'm grateful for you, Andy.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks.